Previously, we have talked about the head of the Union, but a head won't be of much use without the rest of the bodies. Union's largest administrative body is the fittingly named Union Administrative Department, which oversees all administrators it has dispatched across the galaxy to act as liaisons with Union's client states. It receives guidance from CENTCOM, which is pushed to the administrators, who then work together with local rulers and government to determine the best fit integration method, depending on local conditions. There are as many administrators as there are diasporan worlds, which makes them a rare sight to most of the diasporan, as they usually only interact with rulers or ruling councils. To the average diasporan, the administrators appear to be enigmatic, dangerous, and appealing figures. They travel with their NHP companion, they help steer the course of civilizations, and to most, they are the face of Union, a physical manifestation of a ruler profoundly far and mythic. The dark Union gray uniform they wore served as an easy identifiable marker of Union's authority, and the word of administrators seemingly supersedes the will of kings, presidents, popes, and all the rest. The training of an administrators takes decades. They are chosen as children according to an esoteric, exacting criteria from all across the galaxy, and are trained from an early age with an unique NHP companion built specifically to pair with them. This training takes place at satellite campus all across the galaxy, but all administrators will spend some time on Cradle, an experience that serves as an acute reminder of humanity's origins. Upon graduation, administrators choose names local to the culture they will be embedded in. As they will be partaking in interstellar travel, their old identities are declared dead, formally retired as a part of a graduation ceremony. The newly minted administrators, together with their NHP companions, head out to the vast galaxy to give counsel to their host state, ensuring that they will develop according to missives they receive from Cradle. The Union Naval Department, Union Navy for short, even after its significant downsizing after the Revolution, is still the largest and most powerful fighting force in the galaxy, at least on paper. Answer to CENTCOM and also GalSim for strategic and logistic direction, the Union's Navy is a carefully administered organization that project cradles power to all corners of the populated galaxy and beyond, and it does this with small core of Union-flagged capitals and super-capital ships with a vast fleet of standardized integrated auxiliary vessels drawn from Union's subject navies. Besides the fleet it commands, the Union Naval Department also relies on a corps of naval liaisons to accomplish its logistical objectives. Naval liaisons are sent to states capable of building or maintaining ships to Union Navy specifications and classifications. They guide these states in production, training, and theory of naval combat, with the goal of establishing a well-trained auxiliary corps. Once it completes, Union Navy integrates the auxiliary force into its command structure, and offer interstellar contracts to crews and corps seeking to progress further in rank. Those who remain are assigned to anti-piracy, peacekeeping, and police actions in their local system. Since naval liaison and administrator both share the same rank, with the liaison having special imperative authority in times of crisis, they both view each other as a bit less than favorable. Administrators see the naval liaison as bureaucrat that comes in demanding a military tithe from their host states after all the hard work is done, while the naval liaisons view them as overly possessive bureaucrat with an inflated sense of worth. The higher-ups do see this as a healthy institutional rivalry, though it helps improve the performance of both administrators and naval liaisons. The Union Department of Justice and Human Rights is a department new to Union as of the founding of THRCOM, built for a single broad mission: identify areas of the galaxy where the utopian pillars are under threat of being violated, and intervene on a case-by-case basis. Everything from first contact with isolated cultures to critical humanitarian response, direct action intervention, truth and justice hearings, and universe reconstruction are all encompassed within the broad portfolio of the DOJ/HR. These kind of works demand a person common across the galactic core, yet rare in other departments, young people eager for rapid action of any kind, policy, legal, and literal. Compared to Union's other departments, few could match the fervor DOJ/HR staff's approach with their work. Unfortunately, few could also match the burnout rate of DOJ/HR. Any human rights violation, every distress call, every cry for help will eventually find its way to the DOJ/HR. To face the worst of humanity every day, knowing that you can't help them immediately and any help will take years or decades to arrive, is a very painful experience. Which is why, to counteract this burnout, frontline personnel and case workers are often surprised with delivery days. Unexpected deliveries from their commanding officers that contain collected reports from successfully resolved cases and personal messages from people their efforts have directly or indirectly helped. DOJ/HR basically conducts two types of missions: critical assistance and universe building. Critical assistance mission, or CAM, takes place when a pillar violation is about to take place or already have, necessitate rapid direct action to intervene and prevent further human cost, or, in the word of most DOJ/HR personnel, where the action is at. This is basically missions where DOJ/HR liberation team takes the fight against slavers, despots, tyrants, and so on, working in tandem with local sympathetic factions to emancipate and enfranchise enslaved peoples at the expense of their masters, and afterward, helping to transition liberated communities into stable political entities appropriate for the local culture. Universe building missions, or UBM, are instead in response to soft pillar violations that are no less criminal. Exploitation, denial of basic services, totalitarian or fascistic drift, and so on. A common joke among liberation team is that anything that doesn't involve a mass grave qualifies as a UBM. They, technically, aren't wrong. UBM in general is a much slower intervention involving DOJ/HR caseworkers, local experts, and etc. to ensure the process goes smoothly and successfully. DOJ/HR also often works together with Union Navy and Union Administration Department. Many of their missions require resource and intelligence from both departments, and as such, DOJ/HR has the power to deputize naval and administrative personnel, vessels, and materiel as required. The Union Science Bureau is the central administrative body for universities, colleges, scientific institutions, and think tanks throughout Union space. While seemingly apolitical, USB works outside and parallel to CENTCOM chain of command, though they do have some oversight from GalSim and CENTCOM, because leaving scientists without any forms of oversight is just spelling out trouble. The public most commonly interacts with the USB through its absurdly long list of colleges, universities, and public schools, but it's also commonly represented in media in the form of the Far Field Team, or FFT, popularly called Rangers. Basically, FFT ventures into unknown space with a small team of scientists and support staff, discovering strange and anomalous interstellar phenomena, and conducting all manners of fieldworks involved in scouting out new worlds with unknown potential. Passionate scientists, technicians, philosophers, engineers made up a part of the FFT, followed by romantics, wanderers, and loners that came this far out into deep space with their own reasons. Their missions are also dangerous, requiring long-term stasis and relativistic travel to reach unexplored systems. They are effectively off the grid and not connected to the Blink network. The data returned, however, is more than valuable, and well worth the risk. Still, FFT makes up the minority of USB personnel. Most staff works in terrestrial and orbital education centers, laboratories, and fabrication sites as researchers, engineers, designers, and technicians. These can range from public open-door facilities, to top-secret campuses where some things are best kept hidden from public eyes. The former is far more common for obvious reasons. The Union Economic Bureau was a minor department under the first COM, but grew tremendously under SECOM, spearheading the implementation of MANA and chartering the first of the core pro states. Now, under third COM, they continue to track and adjust the value of MANA, evaluate consumer goods, and have some jurisdiction over OmniNet and Blink network affairs. It also has significant jurisdiction power on legitimizing galactic standard manufacturers and core pro states. In fact, several advisory positions on the board of GMS are held ex officio by UEB representatives, giving the Bureau a say in its strategic direction and massive control over determination of galactic standards and codes. UEB also serves to regulate and contract with core pro states, with a secondary, clandestine goal of monitoring Galaxy's largest core pro states, suppliers, and fabricators. However, things are not as simple as it should be. As the Third Com's rule grew to be more assured over centuries, initial post-revolution representatives in UEB have been replaced by new members who espouse policies sympathetic to, and in some cases, aligned entirely with anthro-chauvinist revival ideologies. Various components of Union are being liberalized, due to these exact changes. Union Omni Network Bureau is an attached department under UEB, which oversees construction, logistics, maintenance, and policy concerning the OmniNet, Omni-connected devices, and media carried on the OmniNet, working to ensure that OmniNet is free, convenient, and accessible across the vast galaxy. Union Bureau of Colonial Administration oversees granting and maintaining colonial licenses as well as overseeing a range of other territorial matters, such as setting priority colonial zone, managing private charter licensing, and overseeing colonial disputes. Once a part of the Union Colonial Management, BCA is now the primary body for granting colonial charter over worlds that have no native or indigenous sapient populations. If there are any, the cases of recontact are flagged for review by UAD or DOJ/HR, then BCA issues a blanket moratorium on colonial charters, assuming the indigenous human population has complete rights over their own world. The Union Bureau of Orbital and NonTerrestrial Management instead manages non-terrestrial habitats and all relevant legislation, handling all security and aid services on all non-terrestrial stations, including blink gates, and any disputes concerning non-terrestrial natural or artificial habitats and stations in interstellar or non-local space. The UBO/NTM has two subordinate bodies, the Office of Interstellar Transportation and the Office of Cartography and Universal Positioning. OIT is responsible for managing, planning, and maintaining the entirety of Blink network, both the construction of the gates, and management on passage code for traveling through it. It also sets and certifies safety standard for vessels seeking interstellar licenses, and manages disputes involving temporal complexities and interstellar shipping. OCUP is instead responsible for surveying and mapping visible space, stellar phenomena, maintaining and updating records on stellar influence zones and local space sovereignty codes, and myriad other tasks related to the making of maps and charts. So, that's all on the departments of Union. There's really like so many of them anyway. I will see you all next time. Forecast, GalSim, is responsible for overseeing the Oracle Chorus installation on Mars's Merborium. The entire bureau is contained in this facility, staffed by a city's worth of personnel. In the center of the Oracle Chorus, is the heart that guides Union's grand strategy and growth in pursuit of its mission to ensure humanity's long-term survival, the 5 voices: Command, Muse, Impetus, Burden, Watcher, Sovereign class bicameral minds held in a metafold blink space pocket. Together, the 5 voices dream near-perfect forecast of the galaxy and its events, advising Union in the management of galactic affairs. In many ways, GalSim is more like a monastic order than a branch of government. Many of its personnel serve for life, due to the absolute necessity of keeping GalSim a buried secret. Even after retiring, they simply live on nearby satellite campus, and are sometimes requested to assist in interpreting the 5 voices, instructing new staff, and working on divergent or anomalous iteratives. To advance one's rank or even be recruited into GalSim, one has to be shown to have affinity with the 5 voices. Empathic connection with one or more of the voices dictates assignment, translation priority, and iterative liberty. The existence of GalSim, other than its personnel, is only known by approved members of CENTCOM, and the directors of the USB, UAD, UN, and Union Intelligence Bureau, and their immediate staff. As a result of this necessity for secrecy, GalSim's facilities are kept low-tech to prevent any information leakage through external hacking or network invasion attempts, not that its existence is known to any potentially hostile or interested parties. Union Intelligence Bureau is Union's deniable asset and dark operations group, a secret intelligence organization that keeps tabs on entities, states, phenomena, organizations, and movements that GalSim determines to represent major existential threats to humanity. CENTCOM only has an advisory oversight role to the UIB. Decision-making falls first to GalSim, then to UIB itself. Officially, UIB does not exist. Even CENTCOM does not have access to know how it staffs itself, nor the extent of its mission. Hello there, if you like this video, please subscribe to my channel and click that notification bell button. If you really want to support my channel, you could visit my Patreon page, or buy me some coffee, links in the description. Anyway, have a nice day.